We're actually running slightly late. Is your name ShiAnne?
No.
And I did not say your name.
Okay.
Alrighty. My son got food for us and he decided to come very late, get food very late. And so the food came here to our house 15 minutes ago. So we're running, and ShiAnne will probably be eating while we're live. Anyway. Did this get scheduled even? Hi, Brandon. ShiAnne will be here in just a moment. How are you, Brandon? How are things in Arkansas? Waiting for ShiAnne to get here. Mostly so she can read the comments and be here and happy. Everyone is doing fairly well. We're running around with barely containing things. Brandon's here.
Hi! I didn't even tell him. He remembered himself this time.
Aw.
I mostly forgot to tell him.
Well, we're here.
Yes.
Yeah. You adjust whatever you need to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
And I will mostly try not to read because my eyes are tired today.
Good luck with that.
Anywho,
Bye!
what are we talking about tonight?
I don't know.
Ask Brandon how he was, how Arkansas is.
How's the future?
Yeah. Whole hour ahead.
I think it's 2 hours.
Or 2 hours ahead.
I think
What
it's
time
2
is it
hours.
there? What time is it where you are? Nightbot's here. Hi, Nightbot. That's my waiting for more people to come and having something to talk about. ShiAnne has an idea. Poof.
High five, Brandon. Awesome. That was my idea.
Well,
You weren't very specific.
I'm feeling left out.
Then high five him too. Or do you want a high five from me?
No.
Oh.
I'll high five myself.
Congratulations.
You smell like your soap.
Do I? I did just wash my hands.
Yeah.
With soap.
Mm-hmm. And you dried them?
Mm-hmm.
With soap?
Mm-hmm.
Bum, bum, bum. Ba-da-da, bum, ba-bum. I'm very excited. Something we ordered many moons ago finally came today.
Mm-hmm.
Very excited.
It's late.
Seriously, I've been waiting. It was supposed to be here 2 weeks ago and it finally came. Angela! What does Angela have to say? Food man.
Hi, Michele and shipment. And everyone in the chat.
ShiAnne.
How are y'all doing tonight? I'm doing fine tonight. Drinking water, working on my penguin elbow bump, elbow bump, elbow bump.
We should talk to Restream and tell them to update things so we can actually see those ones.
Mm-hmm.
Angela reminded me to drink my water. Mm-hmm. That's right. We've missed you for a couple weeks, Angela.
Mm-hmm.
She is definitely ahead of us. She's way over on the other side of the country. Which means it's like 9:30 something over there.
What's she doing that for?
Living. It's where she lives.
What's she doing that for?
Because that's how she can make a penguin something.
Okay.
I have mixed feels. One part of me is very excited not showing you my penguin thing. And the other part of me wants to show it to you.
We finally ordered the other thing that you need for your penguin.
I know, I'm so excited. That's coming.
You're welcome.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow.
It's supposed to come tomorrow. With my other thing.
I feel like I'm gonna have so many shipments. Like we have things coming to our house every day almost this week.
Me ordering no ice because I don't drink it very fast and then drinking it very fast.
Yep. So what kind of penguin thing are you making, Angela? I've had some entries. That's been fun. I got a couple of emails today.
Has Brandon been working on his?
It's
9:38 in Columbus.
Georgia.
I'm gonna be popping in and out a lot. My phone's trying to charge.
You and your phone.
He needs to get a longer cord. And actually charge his phone more regularly. This happens a lot.
Maybe he needs to not be talking to you so much.
Except he doesn't talk to me all that much.
Enough for to die his phone.
The problem is while he's working, he's not charging his phone. He has it in his pocket.
Well, he may need it.
Yeah, but still that means it's not charging.
Electric. Boogie, boogie, boogie.
Angela says for your mouth.
Yeah, I know it's penguin for my mail. I'm just wondering what it is. We have entries of some crochet, filet crochet images. We've got some stuffies. I know somebody's working on socks. I haven't seen those ones yet, but I've had a few entries.
I'm probably only doing the book unless I end up doodling something.
We did submit a journal, and I should have the proof on Wednesday, I think. I think that's what's coming on Wednesday. And that will be exciting, so I'll be able to show that. You can drop your channel. Do, do, do.
I don't have a channel that's used, though.
Then don't drop your channel. Don't do it.
Does dropping the channel hurt it?
I don't know.
Or is
It
it
might.
like dropping a bouncy ball?
It could hurt it.
Give it a boo-boo. Angela, it's a crochet animal.
Nice. I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. Let's see. I've got 3 things entered so far. Or 3 people, I should say.
Cute.
Mm-hmm. Y'all have to wait till...
I don't. It helps being a partner. Oh.
This was one of them that came today. And then just got a little panda. Isn't that fun? Oh, this is fun. I love this, guys. I love seeing what you guys make. And then this is the flip.
Is that the... What's it called? I don't remember what it's called.
This is called filet crochet, and it's like what I did the pineapple top from. You basically, you do your chain, then you do like a double crochet chain, so many double crochet and skip so that you're leaving little boxes. Does that kind of make sense?
In theory.
Okay, you're gonna make your chain and you leave your chain along, and then when you come back, you'll come in and you'll skip some of the chains and do a double crochet, and then you're gonna chain some and then do double, then chain some and do double. So it kind of leaves this thing, and then where you want the picture to be, instead of doing the chains, you fill it in with double crochets across.
When did you do something like that?
It was the pineapple one I made, you guys.
The top?
Yeah.
That I never wore?
Yeah, but Amy wore it.
I think I didn't wear it because of the way it fit around here.
Yeah, but that was before I knew a lot about making wearables.
It was also before I knew what kind of things I would and would not wear.
I would, if I made one again, which I could, I would probably find a pattern, like a chart that I liked, and then did my own measurements to make the top and figure things out. I'd make it big enough. I would make the neck the way you want it. But that was before I started knitting, and so that was before I learned much about wearables. Because I really haven't. I've crocheted, like, other than shawls,
Scarves.
And scarves. My wearables that I've crocheted Lindsay a pair of socks once. That was not a good experience. I've crocheted 3 or 4 tops total, and most of those in the more recent years.
There's the one that Amy wears.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I did 2 of that one, and the green one for you, and then, which was the pineapple one you did, and then the purple one that's angled. And
you also did a vest thing for me, which did not turn out how we expected.
No, we just ended up I still have the yarn for that because I was gonna see if I could remake something different.
Yeah, because it did not turn out very well.
And I think I can, because I think that's cotton yarn.
I think it is.
Which means I can use it for you.
Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, Jennifer. Welcome.
Mom's not allowed to read it today. Not that she's supposed to be allowed anyway.
My eyes are tired, so even with my glasses on, it's extra hard today. I will tell you guys, we are going to be doing a giveaway because I realized I never actually did a giveaway of one of our mermaid journals. Somebody picked that for the prize for mermaid, because she could pick a journal, a price point, anything that or below. So she picked a mermaid journal. She actually picked the softbound lined version of this book. But because we never did it, I'm going to let y'all, when we have our turn, whoever wins will get to pick one. They get to choose either this kind of cover, or this kind of cover, and you get to choose whether it's lined or blank. But we're only giving away one journal. So the winner gets to choose. Which mermaid do you want? Do you want it lined or do you want it blank? But you also
are welcome to buy all of them.
Yes, you can totally go buy journals.
Yeah, go buy all the journals.
Yeah, all of them.
All of them. Every single one.
Anyway, so yeah.
All of them.
All of them. Even the ones we haven't made yet.
Yeah.
And the one that's coming out this week.
Yeah.
Anyway, when we do that,
This is called marketing.
I suck at marketing.
That's an interesting belief.
It is, and it's one I have. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to do that a little later when we have a few more people on that you can, we'll probably do the number thing that Nightbot does, where everybody gets to put a number until they get the winner.
That one.
Yeah, but we're not doing that just yet. But we are going to do that. And then you get to pick which cover do you want. Do you want it lined or do you want it blank pages? And
it would be so hard to pick between those covers.
It would be, but people will be drawn to one over the other.
Like, not me.
And then you can just buy the two that you didn't win.
That's what I would do.
And you could be like, oh, well, I like this, but I want it in hardbound. And you can go.
There are a lot of embroidery projects, so you should make an embroidery journal.
Do you embroider? Because I have thought about that, but I have done so little in my life, I don't actually know what to put inside one. I have talked to Chuck about what to put in a sewing journal, and I just haven't taken the time to actually make the journal and make the changes for that yet, but I am planning to. If you are an embroidery person, please send me an email saying, this is what I would like to see in a journal, and we will make you one. As soon as we get done with our
ideas on what animal to have on the cover, a farm animal, because we have the sheep.
We have a farm
sewing one.
Yeah, we haven't shown people the sheep yet.
No. Well, we have a sheep for the sewing one. We have a pig for the crochet one, and a cow for the knitting one.
So an animal, so that ShiAnne can do an animal doing embroidery, and what kind of information you want.
Animals, because they're the ones that make the absolute least sense doing it.
We thought about maybe doing a horse.
Yeah, but horses are harder to draw.
Oh, okay. Well, what other kind of animal? I mean, I guess it could be a goat.
That would be fun. They're not easy to draw either.
A little goat chin thingy, the beard. That's goatee.
Now I have to make a goat tea both where he's drinking tea.
Write it down.
I'm still writing that one down.
We actually have one. Did you scan the one yet, or is it ready?
Which one?
The one you're making that we have to be kind of quiet about for July 7th.
Which one? Oh no, because they were leaving the house, and I finished it, and then I was like, that was really stressful, and so I put it aside, and I never did anything with it.
Yeah, we need to see if we can get that up.
We had a busy weekend.
So, the reality is that we created one for my daughter whose birthday is on July 7th, and we're kind of being hush-hush about it because we don't want her to know. But ShiAnne drew the image for it. Jennifer says something. I'm not supposed to be reading it.
Frog.
A frog. I like frogs. I do have a request for a seahorse.
A seahorse doing crochet.
Mm-hmm.
A rabbit.
Ooh, a rabbit could be cute.
Butterfly.
A butterfly is not a farm animal.
No, but they're on farms.
Yeah, that's true. And it would be cute with, I don't know. Eventually, we'll have things.
Do you know why I said butterfly?
Me.
Because I saw the butterfly over there.
I was gonna say there's butterflies all over the place.
Her room's full of them. And dog. There's a dog plushie.
That dog. Oh my gosh. He was mine from when I was a baby.
I know.
My baby dog.
Do you want to show them?
You want to see my dog from when I was a baby? You can get it, but you have to kind of brush off the dirt from the last time.
I don't know what it's made of.
It's from the 70s. I doubt it's anything you have a problem with. I just had the... Look at my puppy! He used to have a little mouth thing and it fell off. And so when I was a kid, I put lipstick on it. But yeah, I've had him for...
It's fascinating how well that lipstick stayed.
I've had him for a very long time. He was my very first stuffy that I got when I was a baby. And I'm 29 with a few years experience.
Part of why I can't get rid of that huge monkey. It's huge. And it's super flappy now. Because I've had it my whole life.
I really am surprised at how well this is held together all these years. I think because I always kind of treasured it. And so he didn't go outside. He didn't...
Mine didn't either, but I slept on him.
I didn't sleep on him. I slept on all of the rest, but not him.
What am I supposed to do with a giant monkey?
Oh, I would have slept on it too. I slept on my giant bear.
I have a giant bear. His name's Ethan. The monkey's name has changed so many times over the years. For a long time, it was George, because I loved Curious George. Yeah. But it originally started out as Steve, because Steve gave it to me.
This dog's name is Candy.
Candy. Mm-hmm. I wanted that to be my name when I was little.
I think that's probably in the energy of being my daughter. I wanted my name to be Candace and then go by Candy. And then my cousin married a Candy and I was like, okay, never mind.
I probably will have a daughter and name her something and then call her Candy as a nickname.
It's a sweet thing.
Because I came up with a couple of name ideas that one time. Androbon and I think it was Celebon, or I have them written down. I can check.
I'm going to have some uniquely named grandchildren.
Of course! You wouldn't want boring names like everyone else's names.
In reality, I already have uniquely named grandchildren.
Edelweiss and Ewan.
Because Ewan's not unusual in, like...
Celebon.
Like in the UK, but around here, I don't know of anybody named Ewan.
Mm-mm.
And Edelweiss.
I miss them.
I miss them too.
They had to go and move far away.
So far. Anywho, so now you're going to make a frog or a rabbit or something. And Jennifer's going to email me what she would want. Yes, frogs are on farms.
Okay.
The first time I ever heard a frog in real life, we were at a farm in Idaho. And I was like, what is that noise? Like, it's the frogs. And I was like, what? Ducks. Maybe drawing one would allow you
I've drawn so many, it doesn't help.
What about the duck song?
See, I like the duck song, I just don't like ducks. I think I have valid reason to not like ducks.
I didn't like ducks before, so it's fine. I'm not going to force you to like
ducks. Ducks are scary. They're
What
mean.
other kind of farm animals are there?
Well, let's think about that one movie I grew up watching with the pig called Wilbur. Charlotte's Web.
There were geese in that.
And
pigs.
And a rat.
And a spider. And
there was a goat.
There was a goat and a horse. And I don't remember what else.
Sheep. Pig.
I'm trying to think. My friends had sheep, pigs.
Frogs can get very loud.
Chickens. Yeah, they can.
Chickens are fun.
We had toads down in Arizona, and they would come out at night, and they matched we had that pink sand stuff, because we were near Four Corners. And so they would come out at night, and you wouldn't see them until you took a step, and then they jumped.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was very startling. When I was little out in Tooele, we had horny toads. My brother would like play with them and stuff, and I was like, I don't touch you.
I remember as a kid, even Amy, she would play in the mud with my brothers, but I refused.
I played mud to a degree. I made food, chocolate milk, and mud patties.
Yeah, I didn't
But I
do that.
didn't get my
I made it out of
hands
other
dirty.
things. From the beginning, I acted like a vegetarian making food out of leaves for the fairies. And whatever nuts, flowers, berries, things like that. I was a witch as a child. Making potions and stuff.
Yeah, I made mud pies and
I made fairy
chocolate
circles.
milk with water and mud.
I made circles out of the dead grass that people would mow their lawns with for the fairies to dance in when I'd leave. Yeah. These are things that nobody taught me about. I just inherently knew. That's the concerning part. Because I didn't grow up hearing stories about fairy circles.
See animals and...
What are they called? Fairy rings, fairy circles.
Depends. Both of them. Could do... Well, what does that say?
Time here is 9:56 p.m., so I have to go get ready for work, as I have to start early tonight. Oh, that's a pity. Be safe. Enjoy your night as much as possible.
Yeah. I wonder where people are. Probably watching somebody else's live.
They'll be here in 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Now let's check.
Thanks for joining us today, Jennifer, and thanks for the idea. Send
They
me
basically
an email.
have until we've been on here 32 minutes.
I have no clue what time it is. I can see that there's a countdown, and that's all I can see.
We've been on 27 minutes.
Okay. Do 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 do.
I'm gonna eat a chocolate. Mostly because I have bacon aftertaste.
I had to make chocolate before I started.
I didn't even finish my sandwich before we started.
I'm sorry.
I had like 4 bites left.
I feel bad. Because, oh look, it's Lori.
Hello, teacher.
I also
they're
can
just
tell it's
making it
Lori from her picture. Welcome, welcome, welcome. When we have more people, and I feel bad because Jennifer's leaving and so she'll miss out on it, we're going to do that number thing, and somebody's going to pick a journal of one of our mermaid journals.
Do you know what's so great about you that they don't realize? At any given time on any of our lives, they could just say, hey, can I join in and be on the live? And we would both be like, yes, please. It's the truth.
That is such a random thing to all of a sudden say, though.
That's because I have a very random brain.
Sadly, Jennifer is getting ready to leave because she has to be to work early tonight. And that makes me kind of sad. Also, what makes me sad is that Mary can't comment on videos.
I liked her before we ever started doing lives.
Yeah.
I have never interacted with her myself, but I like her.
She's amazing. I like her. We have a lot of fun people. So, Lori, what are you doing? I forgot to ask Jennifer what she was working on. Maybe she'll enter an embroidery, a penguin embroidery. That would be very fun.
I want to learn embroidery so I can embroider on my black overalls that I just got.
Oh, that'd be cute.
Mm-hmm.
That would be very cute. I can't tell you what I'm making, but I can tell you we just submitted our penguin journal.
Hopefully it'll be up super soon.
Yeah. What does she say?
Haha, sorry, I would, but I'm doing something for my video tomorrow, but if I finish, I'll let you know.
Fine, don't join us. It is fun when she joins. The partner for July does not want to join in videos, but she does. I think she said she's going to sponsor a prize, and she picked the theme.
I'm still working on that animal blanket when I have time to crochet.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. I've been really out of the whole watching everybody's video thing.
We've been super busy.
We can always do the questions here that we got tagged in.
I was thinking that.
What do you think, Laura? You tagged us in the video. Should we do the questions while we're here?
How much
live?
later do you think you'll go?
Tonight?
The same amount of time as usual.
We usually finish between 9 and 9:30, depending on the vibe.
Depending on how much energy we still have.
Yeah.
Which usually about an hour and a half in, I'm like done. Because this takes social battery for some reason.
Batteries. She just hasn't figured out how to charge her batteries while she's
Last week can kick my butt. I mean, same.
Oh, we finished our last
Family event for a
little while, and oh my gosh, seriously.
We are a household of introverts. None of us wanted people over. But we still had to have the people over. And most of those people are non-introverted.
Yeah, it was pretty loud. What'd you say?
So if you do go ahead and do the questions during the live, I can actually teach you how you can clip this section out and turn it, just that section, into a video freestanding. You're so cool being a teacher, even when you're not teaching, you're teaching.
Yeah. I did last time, I think it was, or 2 weeks ago.
You made a short.
You made a short from our
She was so excited about that.
Did. I don't remember what it was. So let's do the questions.
When we do the TikTok account, we can post the shorts to that, like clips of our lives. Oh. That would give us some content. What did she say?
Oh, she said it meant, yeah.
I meant it did kick my butt. So I've been catching up on everyone.
Yeah.
That's what you'll be doing
today.
This week,
I
hopefully.
did not spend today catching up. Today I spent time dealing with the feelings that I refused to deal with yesterday.
You also recorded something earlier.
I did record a video. But
I've been writing a little bit today, researching a little bit today, and role-playing a little bit today.
I also finished the pricing stuff on the website.
Oh, yeah.
Like for shipping.
Go you.
Yeah.
Oh, you have them in a note?
I did. I put them in a note so that we could access them pretty easy.
I like fist bumps. Do you want a fist bump? Have a fist bump. Wow. Just made a 40-minute video pulled from my live. How long was your live?
Probably 2 hours.
Oh.
That's kind of the habit. 2 hours.
Of most lives from the yarnies.
Yeah.
It's like the trend. But for yarnies. It's the trend they don't know is a trend. Those are the best trends.
All right. Question number 1 for ShiAnne.
Oh boy. Oh, did you edit them so they would be to mine? Or
no,
is it just...
I can edit while I talk
if
I need to. What is your crafty origin story?
About which one?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. Pick one of your crafts and tell us your start. How old were you when you first started writing?
When I first started writing or storytelling?
Let's go with writing first.
Writing. The first time I remember actually writing down a story was in second grade.
Okay.
Because that's when I first learned how to write decently. And I had my friend Maddie, I miss her. I had her read it,
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "You're terrible at spelling, but I like the story." And I was like, "Thanks."
And that was before we knew about dyslexia.
It was right before, actually.
That's funny.
At least she could read it.
So how old are you when you told your first story?
How old was I when I told my first story?
I don't know.
I I don't remember not telling stories.
I don't know.
I mean, Adel was telling stories before she could talk. Not that most people can understand baby talk.
Anyway, Laura answered the question about how long her video was.
2 hours and about 20 minutes.
Yeah. Seriously?
You touched the button too many times without pushing it.
Okay, what other crafts? What is your yarny story?
I don't know, how old was I? I can't remember. Because you're the one who taught me.
I don't remember. Did I teach you before any of the other kids?
Yes.
Except
maybe Zach.
You were probably 6 or 7, I would guess.
So about 2nd grade.
Yeah.
I tried it and I enjoyed the motions and doing the thing, but the yarn made my hands really hot and itchy and stiff, and just thinking about it, I'm like... And I remember telling you and Grandma about it, and I don't know if it was Grandma or you who said that was normal. It's just the texture of the yarn. Doing it for so long can make your hands...
I thought it was a texture thing.
Well, it was partially a texture thing, but apparently, now looking back on it, it was an allergy.
Acrylates, acrylic yarn, man. And I just found out today that I was making something out of acrylic yarn, and then I have to frog it because it was for you.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
You were struggling with it anyway.
I was struggling with it. And usually if I'm struggling that much with a project,
it's because
something's wrong. Like with socks, it meant I would either had the wrong stitch count or I was putting the heel in the wrong spot. And as soon as I switched where I put things or added more stitches or whatever, it just would flow. So it's kind of, I'm aware that if I'm running up against a lot of problems, there's probably a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Art, drawing.
I don't remember exactly when I started, but I remember when I started intentionally doing it for the purpose of art. I started learning better techniques in 2nd grade. And that's actually the first time I started drawing eyes, just as eyes. Because my friend taught me how, and then my aunt, Shalina, she taught me how to do eyelashes properly.
Mm.
And since then, it just keeps building and building.
Keeps getting really good examples.
Yeah. Eyes are my favorite. They're like my default if I don't know what to draw.
Mm.
Because eventually I'll figure out something to do because of it.
Mm.
Like with the eye that has the tree in it.
Okay.
I then drew the tree that I love.
So tell me about Andrew and art and how you felt.
Yeah.
Because that's a part of your story.
It is. I compared myself to him a lot because he's my older brother and he is a very good artist.
Yeah, he's 10 and a half years older than her. So when we say he's an older brother, we mean he's an older brother. He's 32 right now.
Ugh. I'm 22?
Yeah, you are.
Whack.
I'm 29.
Yeah, I know. That just makes it whacker.
Okay.
I remember when Andrew was 22. This is messed up.
Anyway, so Andrew is a really good artist. Andrew's really smart.
I didn't understand that there was different art styles.
Mm.
And so even when I drew something really good, I didn't think it was good because it wasn't like his. And it wasn't until I was in junior high or high school that I learned there were other art styles.
Probably junior high because you took art classes in junior high.
I loved my art class. My art teacher was great. Not as a teacher, but I loved her. She never made me do any work. She just gave me a passing grade every time.
But
I think
you
that
did
was her
work.
favorite.
You did work in there.
I did work in there, but I didn't have to if I didn't want to. She would have passed me anyway, even if I just gave her something simple. Although she always wanted me to draw bows. Like, there was this one thing that we had to do where we had to draw a fig tree that she had in her room without looking at the page. Just draw it, which I actually did shockingly well. But we were then supposed to add something in the background that was personalized. It was like us. And I wanted to do an eye because the eyes are my thing. And she wanted me to do a bow. And I was like, but I don't even like bows.
Did I traumatize you with doing the bow hair thing?
No, I loved that. That's entirely different.
You know how it used to be the trend back in the early 2000s that you would make hair look like things? I used to do the hair that looks like a bow, so it would be her hair up on top of her hair. She has such thick hair, it was really easy. I could have never done that with my hair. And I had a hard time with Amy's hair.
The traumatizing part was that we went to a family event that was at a park, and the bees were heavily attracted to it because of the hairspray.
Yeah, the bees. Is there anything else that we need to talk about for your art craft origin stories?
Technically, each medium of art has its own story. This would make us stay here for hours talking about it.
What is your craft of choice, and what does it say about your personality?
It's hard to pick one over the other because art is who I am. But I would say probably storytelling / writing. Technically, my art tells its story. Every picture I draw, so technically it counts.
What does that say about your personality?
I'm good at creating worlds.
You're a storyteller.
I am a storyteller. I have a very active imagination. Overactive, some have said. I'm still a little bitter. Not as bad as I used to be.
This is what is your favorite fiber, but I'm going to say what is your favorite medium and how does that influence the things you make?
I like telling stories to children because children don't judge my brain hopping from one line to another. And also, it opens up worlds for them that nobody's opening for them anymore. It feels like creativity has been draining out of life in the past.
Well, apparently it's a theme because we just watched The Never Ending Story, and that was back in the 80s, and it had that theme.
Mm-hmm.
We also just watched Mr. McGorrin's Wonder Emporium.
I love that movie so much. It's my favorite.
That inspires magic.
That is what I
besides
want to be
storytelling,
when I grow up.
what's your other favorite medium?
My other favorite medium,
Mm-hmm.
besides storytelling?
Mm-hmm.
Sketch art, probably.
Sketching?
Although, when I did a little bit of sculpting, I enjoyed that. I haven't done enough of it for it to be a contender yet.
Okay. And if you had to pick a yarn fiber, what yarn fiber would you pick?
Does it have to be one I've worked with?
No.
Then I would go with, what's it called? It's the animal. Alpaca wool.
Alpaca, okay. Good choice.
Or bamboo.
I was going to say, you probably would love bamboo.
I think bamboo.
Yeah. Bamboo is what that shawl is made out of.
This one?
Bamboo. It's a bamboo cotton blend.
Really?
Yeah. That's why it has such pretty drape.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love bamboo. I would love to wear more bamboo.
Yeah, and if it was more affordable, we would do that.
We totally would.
Okay.
My skin would
Next
probably clear
question. If money was no object,
Bamboo?
Would your fiber choice be different?
No, because I wasn't thinking about money.
You're like, bamboo, bamboo.
I think out of the box,
an
not in it.
alpaca. And what else would you try?
I don't know what else there is.
Okay, what would you try art-wise? Other crafts.
Oh, art-wise, sculpting more.
Yeah.
I want to do like, that kind of sculpting.
Mm-hmm.
With the things.
Chiseling hard.
Yeah,
like,
that.
Yeah.
I was thinking the hammer and the really big nail.
Have you ever done wood carving?
I've done whittling, but not wood carving, technically. I liked carving the soap into the dove. It turned out really well.
Huh. Soap carving.
Mm-hmm. I like carving. I just don't have the tools
the only
for
person in the house who's never carved soap.
That's because Dad would only let us carve soap if we were going too little.
All right, this is definitely a yarny one, but you might have an answer. What is your favorite yarn weight size?
Well, I can tell you this about pencils, and I can tell you this about paintbrushes, but not like the actual what the brush is called.
Because then it says or other crafting material, and how does that influence the things you make? So we can start talk about yarn and your other stuff. So, what's your favorite pen?
My favorite pen? I love my quill, but I can't use it because I'm allergic to it. It's made of copper.
Oh.
But I love my fountain pen.
Would you be able to put a layer of gel stuff in, seal it?
I don't know how that would work. Because it might seep into the thing while it's curing and make it so it doesn't work. I've been looking online for what I'm not allergic to. That was a really cheap one.
Okay. All right. So you like the concept of a quill. You like using it, except for you're allergic to it. Okay.
And my fountain pen is my favorite pen.
Okay.
Pencil-wise, my favorite lead is the 0.5.
Okay. Size. Well, how do you feel about like HB and H versus B, like the softness of your lead?
I don't necessarily have a preference.
I do. I prefer softer pencils.
I know you do. I know what erasers I prefer. I prefer the kneadable erasers or the white ones.
Yeah.
What are the white ones made of? I don't even know.
I don't know.
It's because they don't tear up the paper.
What kind of paper do you like?
Paper? Multimedia is pretty good. I prefer a little heavier duty paper so that I can do anything on it.
Okay.
I liked when I was trying to do ink art, but I only had the one ink, so it was a little difficult. But I would love to try that too.
Andrew did that for a while too.
I know. That's where I got the idea.
Okay, so if you were do you have enough experience with yarn to pick a yarn weight that you prefer working with? You've worked a little bit with a bulky. What do you feel about the fatter yarns?
I've only tried it with the one and doing the one thing, so I don't know yet. I do know that I haven't worked on it for a very long time now.
I know. Because
we've been super busy. And
we need to get you trying different yarn weights to see what you think of them.
Yeah.
One of the people it's Linda, I think, that said to me that her favorite crochet technique is the fillet stuff with like a small yarn, like, what's that? Like this size yarn. That's the one we talked about already. The fillet crochet that has, you make the boxes and then fill them in.
I don't remember the name.
But she likes using the tiny yarn and a little steel hook. And it's her favorite. And there you go.
I like doing what is it called when you have this long pieces of yarn and you do it in the thing?
Latch hook.
That. I like doing that. But I think that they use acrylic yarns in it, so I can never do it long. I want to do it with not acrylic. because I couldn't do it for very long and I'd have to stop even though I enjoy it.
Well,
I understand now why.
You could definitely, you can buy the Latcha canvas and you could design your own using the stitch fiddle that Lori teaches us about.
I wouldn't even need to do that. I just have to use pick my size and draw it on the thing. With a softer lead.
We would just have to pick what colors you wanted and invest in cotton yarn, and then you'd have to just basically, you might be able to buy, I've never looked at it, but you might actually be able to buy different fibers that are already pre-cut into the strips.
That would be awesome.
But I've never looked into that. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Because I loved doing that.
I know, I thought it was fun too. That was one of my favorite little pastimes, was latch hook.
I could do that for hours if I didn't get really hot and itchy.
Next question. What would be the item you would most want to make someday?
A marble sculpture. I've been wanting to make that for a very long time, and I want to so bad.
Who is your favorite designer?
Oh, I also would like to finish and publish a book series.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
But I've talked about that already, so.
Who is your favorite designer, and what does that say about the things you like to craft? Do you have a favorite designer?
Do I count?
Yes.
Me.
What does that say about the things you like to craft?
That I like myself?
I think it makes you like to come up with your own ideas.
I do.
Some people like to follow patterns. Or even in art, they like to follow like step by step, this is how you do it. And you're like, I'll just play with it and figure it out.
Somehow, I have always, like, if you give me a picture, just a line drawing of an apple, and hand it to me, it'll somehow end up being 3D instead of 2D.
Mm-hmm.
Every time.
Who's your favorite author? You? Besides me and you, who's your favorite author?
That's a hard one.
I'm not even published right now because I unpublished my children's book.
You still published that one.
We need to redo the art for that.
Oh my gosh, there's so many projects.
We should pick like one picture a week to do in that while you're doing all the other stuff.
I like a lot of authors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know all of their names off the top of my head right now. One of them's a guy. He wrote the Fairy Path series.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, but I don't know his name.
He has 2 names.
Yep.
At least.
Yep.
Jenny James.
Ah, she's a good author.
Melanie Cellier.
Also a good author.
And then there's the one who wrote the How to Hang a Witch.
I don't know her name.
Neither, but I love that book so much. I will be buying that book.
Okay, how does your personality affect or show up in your crafting?
If I try realism, it becomes magical. If I try magical, it just becomes more magical.
So you're magical?
Yes.
Oh, yay! Congratulations, you have now answered all of the questions that Lori tagged me in, and I tagged you in, even though I haven't done mine yet.
Your turn.
Other people are here. The numbers went up.
Hello, other people.
Hello, other people. We're answering the questions that Lori tagged me in.
What is your crafty origin story?
Crafty origin story. Well, first of all, my mom did a lot of different crafts.
Did she?
She did when I was a kid. Before she had to work and things like that, before she became a teacher, she did a lot of different things. She said she did quilling, and we found quilling stuff when we were going through the boxes, but I don't remember her doing it. She crocheted a little bit. She knit a little bit, but not enough for us to think, oh, she did it.
I did associate knitting needles with her just because they were always around the house, even though she never used them.
Right. And then she also minored in art. So just like she made the vase that's out in the hall and did some painting and stuff like that. So my mom actually did lean that direction. But let's start with music.
She was always super supportive of that stuff.
Yeah. Music, I remember begging.
Oh, I didn't even think about music.
I know. Do you want to add your music stuff in?
No, it's your turn.
Okay. I used to beg to play the piano. I would beg. We'd go to my grandma's house and I'd tinker on the piano and I wanted people to teach me to play the piano. And I begged and I begged and I begged. And finally, when I was like 10 years old, my parents bought a little tiny keyboard and they got me piano lessons. And then I would go to piano lessons and I always improved. But my teacher told my mom that I needed to practice more. And I think if she would have realized that I never practiced, that I only I might would have played the songs after piano lessons and I might would have played the songs right before piano lessons, but I never did anything during the week. I think my teacher would have pushed even more for me to do more because I improved.
That's prodigy.
Yeah, I improved, but I just didn't practice.
She passed that on to her children.
And so that was my music one. I only had 1.5 years of piano lessons.
Which is too bad.
Actually, I had probably 9 months from her. And then later somebody gave us piano lessons and I had 9 months from them, if that. And so altogether I had 1.5 years, but I taught myself. So I'm a self-taught pianist and I'm really good. Not as good as I used to be because I just didn't have a piano. It's been a long
time.
I didn't have a piano for 15 years. So I remember the first time I did a solo singing, I was in primary. So I was 10 or 11 years old. And it was to pass off something. And I sang a solo in front of... Did I do it in front of the whole congregation or just the children's congregation? I don't remember, but that was the first time I did a solo in church.
The first time I performed was in church, but it wasn't a solo. Although my first solo was in church as well, but I was older.
Yeah.
That was thanks to you. You played the piano.
I did. I do that. So when I was younger, my grandma crocheted and knitted.
Which grandma?
My grandma Cook. And I remember her coming over and I loved what she was doing. She was actually doing what's called broomstick crochet.
What's that?
It's where you take one of the really fat knitting needles and you do your crochet and then you put stitches up around the needle so it makes them big. And then you put so many on and then you do a thing that links them together so it creates this fan look. I have never done it, so I only know in theory.
You'll have to show me when we get off.
Yeah. So she did that, and I thought it was so cool, but she taught me how to crochet. I don't remember how old I was. I just know that it was before 4th grade and probably was 3rd grade. I just remember crocheting in 4th grade. My first project, one end was this big, and it was a little Barbie Afghan, and about this far into it, or at the end of it, I don't know which direction was which, all of a sudden it was this big. And so it looks kind of like the state of Utah. There's my little Barbie Afghan. I kept for a long time. It probably actually is one of the things that got sold when my mom couldn't pay the storage unit bill and they got rid of all my kids' stuff. All the things that I was saving got sold and auctioned off. But
I'm glad that there's still a couple of things.
Yeah.
I still have one of them.
So that,
It's the couch. I still have the couch.
yeah. I kept sewing my Barbie stuff. My mom used to sew. That's what my mom did the most. My mom taught me to sew when I was
She was gonna teach me.
like 10 years old. So I started learning to sew. I was in 4-H and sewing 3 years in a row. I did a home ec class where we made Mod Podge. I made a Mod Podge pitcher, and then we made this thing that was a piece of wood that we put little figurines of flowers and made a centerpiece. And it was my pride and joy because it was really pretty, and it had frogs on it, and my brother ruined it, and that was trauma. Knitting. The first time I ever knit, I was pregnant with her. And I made a little sweater, a baby sweater. I knit it flat per the book instructions that I had. And I enjoyed it, but I just had a baby, and we had some chaos about that.
I wouldn't sleep.
Well, it was also when I was knitting, we lived at my aunt's house, and then we ended up living at your dad's family's house, and then certain things happened while there, plus I had a baby, and then I had 5 kids in 6 years, so I did not do anything more with the knitting. And then also I felt bad because of your grandma, because she didn't knit often, and I didn't want to come in and be really good at knitting when I make her feel bad. So I didn't really do much with it. A few years later, I decided to try knitting a washcloth, but by then I was watching things on YouTube, not following a book. I think the sweater I made using the English style knitting, which is what I do, holding my yarn in the right hand. And when I tried making the washcloth, I tried doing the continental, and I hated it.
I see.
And then a year later, I was like, okay, well, I want to try this again. And I did another washcloth and did the same continental thing, and I hated it. And then a few years ago, I was a grandma for Halloween, and I was like, well, I have to have knitting with me. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just knit up a little thing to be knitting, and then, it will be fun, and that will be it.
It was so much fun.
It ended up, I decided to do the English style because I tried both, and it was like, I don't like this style. So I tried the other style this time, thinking, I'll just switch back and try both styles and see which I liked. And so I've been knitting ever since. And it is actually my favorite thing to do. I prefer knitting over crochet. I like crochet. I still crochet. I just prefer knitting. And I used to do art. I used to sketch.
I think you were a very good artist.
I was a very good artist, and then I stopped doing it, and now I just get frustrated because it takes me too long to get what I used to do in an hour takes me 3 days. So
You're just rusty.
And I sometimes write, but I don't ever take time to write.
I wish you would
there you
write
go.
more.
That's my
I wish you would write more.
I want to write more. I just haven't got there. Next question. What's the next question?
That was just the first question?
That was just the first question. The first question is the longest because it's the whole story, the backstory.
What is your craft of choice, and what does it say about your personality? You already answered which is your choice.
My craft of choice is knitting. As far as I used to sew. I like hand sewing, but my eyes don't let me, but I love hand sewing. But what it says about my personality. Actually, the thing I love most about knitting is that there's still so much to learn. And that when, I've enjoyed to a degree until my arms started having issues. I loved doing the mosaic afghan because I had never done overlay mosaic crochet before. So I like learning new things in crochet. I like learning. There's so much to learn in stitches. I want to learn to tat because it's a new thing. I really enjoyed doing quilling, but that was trauma with when I broke my knee, and it was the last craft my mom's financially supported, and so I don't do that one anymore. But it's about learning. I love learning new things and learning how can I do this and how can I do that and how can I do it better. And there's a lot to do that in knitting, since it's only been something I've been doing for 3.5 years.
Mm-hmm. What is your favorite fiber, and how does that influence the things you make?
My favorite easy to access fiber is cotton. My favorite a little bit more money fiber is bamboo, but I don't get to use bamboo a lot. And
which is too
I've
bad.
enjoyed alpaca, and I really want to try some others. But there's something about the natural fibers that I really like. What does it influence? It just makes it that much more desirable to make wearables.
Mm-hmm. If money was no object, would your fiber choice be different?
I would invest in much better quality of cottons. I would definitely be using more bamboo.
Mm-hmm. And alpaca.
And I would be using more alpaca. I have such desires for making alpaca. I want to try working with silk. Mm. I have a silk. I just never got very far. So I want to do more with that. And I want to try certain things. Like, I don't know, am I allergic to rabbit fur? So could I do Angora? I would love to find out. I don't know if I have an issue with goat. So it'd be like nice to try goat hair and just to see if I have an allergy to that. And I would like to try camel or a camel blend. There is a fiber artist, like a person who dyes yarns, that they have some, mostly they have a lot of wool, but they also have things like things with silk, like an alpaca silk blend and things like that. Like, there's so many fibers out there. I'm like, I want to try them. I want to see how they are. There is a fiber that for like a little 25-gram ball, the yarn that I get to do socks, the smaller cotton yarns, those are $50. So for a 25-gram ball of this one particular animal fiber from South America, it is $300.
What animal?
It is I think it's a type of alpaca, but I'm not positive about that. And they are protected by their country. And what happens is that they go along the mountainsides and they brush up against the mountain, which takes their fur off. And so people have to go gather that fur. And that's why it's so much, because it's gathered. They only have so many a year. It's a protected animal. So it's super expensive. But I'm really curious about it. I've only heard of a couple people actually ever using it.
You'd have to make something like a scrunchie with it.
I don't know. Maybe I'd make a head triangle scarf
thing. Oh yeah, those things.
Yeah. I would
make
have
one of those for
money was no object. Yeah, money is no object. So I would probably buy enough to make something extra fancy.
I would start with something small, though. You don't even know if you're allergic.
It's true. Anyway, yeah. What's next?
What is your favorite yarn, weight, size of other crafty material, and how does that influence the things you make?
My favorite yarn size for crochet, I actually prefer to crochet with like a 3-weight, maybe a 4-weight. I mostly use 4-weight though, but I would prefer that little bit smaller. For knitting, I love sock weight, and I love 2-weight. I love the thin yarns. I've done a little bit of crochet with the skinny stuff. Before I had problems with my eyesight, I enjoyed it. I don't like bulky yarns. And I prefer to make wearables, especially knitting wearables, and the thinner yarns, they take longer to make the object, but because they're thin and they get better drape and they get they're a altogether lighter fabric. So I like that.
Mm-hmm.
As far as everything else, eyesight makes it so I can't hand sew, which is probably why I don't really do embroidery or cross stitch.
It's too bad.
That's too bad
because you were so good at hand sewing.
It's fun.
She made me a authentic pirate shirt. Well, as authentic as I would allow it to be. I wanted fluffy sleeves.
Anyway.
Oh, what would the item you would most want to make someday? Or what would be, I missed a word.
Honestly, I want to knit a sweater dress. It would be a very long project, and it would take a lot of yarn. But I want to knit a sweater vest or sweater
I want
dress.
to crochet wings.
Oh, that would be fun. I think I want my sweater vest to be made either with the bamboo or a fancier yarn that I don't know yet.
Mm-hmm. Who is your favorite designer, and what does it say about the things you like to craft?
I am my favorite designer because I like to come up with my own designs. I love
some
it.
Pretty fun things.
I love it when I learn formulas and then I can just learn different stitch patterns to put in. Like even this guy, he is my own design. I learned how to do different techniques and put them together. So that is my favorite. Beyond that, I don't really pick a favorite designer. I just see.
We discussed this the other day.
Yes, we talked about it. I look for what I want to make, and I don't really care who the designer is. I care more about it's the thing I want to make.
It's like picking a favorite painter. You like some of their paintings, but it doesn't really matter who they are necessarily. Like I like some of Van Gogh's paintings. I like some of the other painters' paintings, but I don't necessarily care that they're from that painter.
Yeah. I'm not the kind of person that's a brand loyal kind of person for anything.
I like Dr. Pepper.
What's next?
This is the last question.
Yay.
How does your personality show up in your crafting?
Well, one of my favorite things about myself is that I love to learn. And that definitely shows up in my crafting, period. It doesn't matter what it is. I like learning about it. I like learning how to improve it. All the things like that.
Is anybody still here?
Probably. Yeah, there's eyes. Somebody's here. Anyway, that's it. We filled today talking about the questions that Lori tagged me in.
An hour and 13 minutes.
We've been here. Oh, hey, I don't know who's here. Who's still here?
Yeah, who's here?
It's time to do our giveaway because it's been an hour and 13 minutes. We're doing a giveaway today.
Maybe whoever's still here is going to be the only buddy to enter, so they're going to be the only buddy to win.
The only buddy.
Only buddy.
Anyway, so what we're doing, this is our giveaway. I realized I never did a giveaway for the mermaid books. So, we have one winner.
My hip popped. That was weird.
Or we could do it the other way, where we have a...
Lori's
here. And Angela's still here. So we have at least 2 people. I was thinking of doing the number thing, either that or I can do it where you leave a keyword. Which should we do?
I know what word it would be if it was the word.
If we do a keyword, and then it would allow some people who watch the replay to participate. Or we can be it for whoever's actually here. Jennifer was here, and I feel bad that she's missing out on it. And so there's a part of me that wants to...
I think that we'll do the word.
Okay, so here's what the deal is. Because I never gave a mermaid one, you get to pick one book. It has to be a softbound. It can be lined or it can be blank, and you pick the cover. So we have 3 covers, and I'm going to show you the 3 covers. So this is the first one. It is the Mermaid on a Rock, and it's got this color of blue, like a, I don't know what color that is.
Blue.
It's a blue, but it's like a almost teal. I have a word in my head, but it's not coming to my mind. It's like not coming out. But it's a kind of oceany blue. And it is, this one's lined. So we have an option of lined, but you can get the matte. If it's
Lori
matte,
votes keyword for replay.
I like that idea. Okay, so matte version with lines. Or you can get both, all of them come in matte or glossy. Glossy is a blanked one. So if you get a blank one, it's glossy. And it's got this little...
It's so hard to see them over the thing.
This one's easier. This one might be easier. One of them's easier. This might be easier to see.
Yeah, that is
symbol.
easy to see.
So it's got this. This is blank. This is the one of the covers. This is one of the covers. And this is one of the covers. Ta-da! Okay, so you get to pick which kind of cover. If you have this blue one, this lighter blue one, or that color blue one, you get to pick your cover. You get to pick whether it's lined or blank. And it will be a matte, it will be a soft brown. Okay, so the winner, first of all, how long do we give them on the replay?
How long do we typically do?
I don't know. 1 or 2 days, 3 days?
I was thinking 3.
3 days? So I pick a winner Thursday morning?
Yeah.
Okay. Picking a winner Thursday morning. You get to comment on the live. If you comment on the live, you get the chance here. And you can come back and comment on the replay. You get 2 opportunities then. If you comment on the replay, you also get opportunity.
It's clear we are coming to the end of the video because you've started to struggle with speech.
I am struggling with for a lot of reasons. But what is our key word, ShiAnne?
Bubble.
Bubble. Bubble. Bubble.
Bubble.
Bubble. That's our word.
I had to go with an oceany theme. And bubble worked. I didn't want to do wave. That's too generic.
Too generic. The books are called Beneath the Wave.
Exactly.
Oh, Lori thinks before the next live.
Thursday's technically before the next
I think I'm
live.
going to go to Thursday. Thursday morning I'm going to pick. So that gives you Tuesday and Wednesday, the rest of tonight, to come back and comment. So yeah. That's exciting. So write the word bubble. Bubble, bubble, bubble. Bubble, bubble, bubble. Bubble, bubble, bubble. And you get to pick. You have options. I like options. Lori said bubble. Woohoo! Angela, you got to type bubble if you want a journal.
Who knew there were so many ways to clap? This is the one we were allowed to do in elementary school because it made the least noise.
I'm sure there were kids that learned how to make that loud.
Me, I was that kid.
I like my regular clap wouldn't have been loud.
See, I can make noise.
You can.
And I'm not even hitting hard either. It's just the direction.
I don't know if anybody else is here to type bubble besides Angela and Lori, but they've done it. We do you. We do we.
Whee!
Well, we entertained ourselves by doing all of the things. I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Hey, you could give Mom more questions for next week.
Actually, somebody tagged me in a video that had different questions.
I love answering questions.
So I might have to do that. Bubble, 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 bubble. Bubble, 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 bubble. Bubble, bubble. Boiling trouble.
Why are we boiling me?
I don't know. Why are you trouble?
Because it's fun.
Because you're fun.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, look. Your dad. I told him last week. Hey, guess what? I do a live on Monday nights. But he still called again tonight. What does she say?
It is our job. My claps are freakishly loud. Maybe it's my tummy hands.
It's just tiny hands. I don't know. Do you have tummy?
There are a lot of ways to clap that make different amounts of sound. It just really depends.
Now the next question is, can you snap? That is it, guys.
That's better than usual.
It's because I used a lot of lotion earlier today.
Oh yeah, you do have really dry hands.
But that's not the only problem. All right, and then whistle.
Which one? I have a lot of whistles. You want the loud one? I haven't done that one in years.
See, she said tiny.
Tummy. It's tummy.
You have tummy hands.
Tummy hands. It's just like my friend from choir in high school had magic piano pokers, not fingers. Because I couldn't remember the word for fingers. Because I was trying to say you have really long fingers. That's good for piano. And I was like, oh, what's the word? On the hands. He's a really good piano player. Magic piano pokers. That's what came out of my mouth. He was a good friend.
Yeah.
I have his phone number, I think.
Mm.
I can snap, but not very loud.
Yeah, you heard mine. That's... And my whistle.
Oh, come on, you can do better than that. Stop smiling. There you go.
That's what you get. That's my whistle, guys.
I can't decide which whistle to do. I could do the really high pitched
And
one.
I have been mocked by all of my children because of it.
I was the one who taught you how to be a teapot.
I've been being a teapot since I was a kid.
Nuh-uh.
Uh-huh.
You didn't do it when I was a kid.
You just didn't listen.
You just didn't do it.
I've been teapotting since I was a kid.
I don't believe you. You didn't do it when I was a kid. You didn't start doing it until we lived here.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Ever.
I can do the really high pitched one.
Your tea is ready.
Actually, it is.
Your water is ready.
It's been ready.
I'm a
since
tea
yesterday.
kettle. I'm not a teapot.
Good job. I'm a teapot. I steep in my emotions.
Okay, go. Finish it. One of your whistles. Pick one. Probably not a super loud one because we don't want to hurt people's ears.
Then I can't do the high pitched one either. It's not loud, but it's really high pitched. I have a lot of whistles. There's the generic whistle. Oh no, I'm smiling. You can't whistle when I'm smiling. Which is even worse. No. I'm too smiley. Stop smiling. It's not working. I can't do it. No.
She can whistle.
I can.
She can. Maybe.
I can do it.
You can do your cackle.
I can do Amy's cackle.
I like Amy's cackle.
So much better when she does it. We were trying to teach her how to cackle for work when we worked at a haunted house.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Do it very often though.
Yeah. It was supposed to be a comedy role anyway. I was very good in Witch. They loved putting me there. Which was good when I was a makeup artist too, because I just had to put black on my eyes.
Da, 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 da.
I turned what was supposed to be a comedy role into a scary role.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cackled so loud they could hear me across the hall. And I loved having a sister in there, another witch, because the things that we would do when we got in character, there were a couple of people I loved more than others to work with. Because some of them just didn't know how to be in character, let alone stay there.
I never worked at the haunted house, but they would come home from work and we'd talk about the rules, and I would give them so many ideas of things they could use.
I was really excited when they got a cauldron that put steam out, because that just took it up a notch. I miss being a witch, but I don't miss working at the haunt. That was another fun role. It's called doll. I would do doll makeup for my sister, and it was super spooky.
Ashes. Yeah.
Technically, we have pictures. Oh, you took Amy's act up so much that they couldn't stop putting her in the role. I would have done a lot better in there if they hadn't had that stupid robot. It was this little doll that rocked, that was at the end of the room to scare people, and you could hear it the whole time. Over and over and over. And what was I supposed to do when it was doing the singing for me? It was doing all of the scaring for me, except just appearing in random places in the room.
I'm sorry.
It was very annoying.
I'm sorry. How many hours have we been here? An hour and a half?
We have 30 minutes until, well, more like 2 minutes and something
like
seconds.
2 minutes. All right. How's you guys' whistles and cackles? Oh, we should share with them your evil laugh.
And none of them get the reference,
share
I'm
with
sure.
them your normal laugh. What other kind of laughs do we have?
I laugh a lot of different laughs, including the silent laugh.
I love to laugh long and loud, and I don't remember all the words.
Clear.
I also don't want to get like YouTube mad at me.
And especially since it's Disney. They're super strict about it.
Disney's extra protective of their stuff.
Yeah. That's such a good character. It's really too bad they didn't use him more.
Some people laugh through their noses.
They had a lot of good characters and a lot of good songs. I apologize. Are you running to the door again?
What's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal?
Yes.
Narwhal. You know that.
But they don't.
Yeah, they do. Because you made me a narwhal and you told them.
Do they know that it was for you? They knew it was for a child.
Well, it was for me. It's not on my bed right now because I had to wash it. And I haven't watched it yet. Oh, it's my laundry day.
How do you wash the narwhal? That's like that that is when I discovered I really hate extra fat yarn. That was like a weight 7 yarn.
It was like this big.
Super fat. I'm like, it's a freaking rope. I enjoyed making it not because it was. I enjoyed making it because that was a pattern I made up myself.
It is?
Yes.
I would love another one not made with that yarn. I love narwhals.
I would have to again make it up myself. Which we could
That
do
is
if we had
something
the
that you
yarn,
should
but
definitely publish as a pattern.
I didn't take notes on it. That's the problem.
Which is too
Is I
bad.
don't. I like making patterns, but I don't like I like making up my designs, but I don't like taking my notes and putting them
narwhals are
into
real.
I don't like putting them into whatchamacallits. Patterns. I like I could take my notes, and if somebody else took my notes and made it into a pattern, that'd be cool.
I'm sure there is somebody who would volunteer to help you.
But that's my thing. I struggle with the actual taking it from a thing, like from the idea in my head to an actual thing. It's part of why my I've designed a couple of towel toppers that have never made it into patterns because the process of making it a pattern is not enjoyable. The process of designing it is very enjoyable. And I still need to finish editing my tutorial for the thing.
The
and
coasters?
Then for the coasters. And then what somebody needs to do is take that coaster and make it into a pattern.
I love my coaster. Yeah. The one with the pie symbol on it. I use it all the time.
Yeah, I actually looked at real pictures of narwhals to help me design and decide where does the horn go.
Because it's
actually like here, and then the fish eyes are on the sides.
But people always put it up, so it's like...
But it's almost as if you were to take from the tip to the tail, it's like a straight line. So
it's like a dart with eyes.
Say.
I like making the graphs, and then anybody can do whatever they want with those and not necessarily have to follow a tutorial of mine specifically.
Yeah. I really do want to take your mermaid tail and knit something up with it. I just haven't got there yet.
She's talked about it.
It's something I want to do. That would actually be a really cute bag.
Well, we're getting a bunch of bags in.
So I might do that because that would be really fun. I like it. I like that it's just a pattern. I like the fact that a chart can be used. You could use it for diamond art. You could use it for cross stitch. You could use it for knitting. You could use it for crochet. And there's multiple techniques in crochet that you could use it for. Like designing a chart is a very great skill.
I would love to customize bags and shoes and stuff and sell them on our website. But I need the supplies.
The problem is we need to find out what kind of paints you can use.
I know.
That is our number one problem. She's allergic to acrylic, and therefore, what kind of paint can she use?
Any ideas?
That doesn't have acrylic in it. Acrylate. What doesn't have acrylate in it that she could use? Because
there are some covert acrylates.
We've even looked at
my poor face.
At like fabric paints, and most of them have acrylates in it as well. It's really hard to find stuff that doesn't have them in.
It's hard to find adhesives, and it's hard to find paints, and it's hard to find modern clothes.
Yeah. So somebody gave me some yarn, this yarn right here, and I was making something and it wasn't working out. And then I was recording my video today and I was reading off the thing and it's 93% acrylic. And I was like, oh, I can't use that to make something for Cheyenne. I've got to put it away.
Especially what you were making for me.
Yeah.
It was a bag to hold my face cloths, my washcloths, and my reusable cotton pads.
We made little cotton round kind of things, reusable from cotton.
I love those things.
Do you need more of those? Because I can make
Yes,
you more.
Absolutely.
I'll have to make you more. I have to use the softer yarn for those, though. Or do you want do you
both.
care? Okay.
I like both. For different reasons. I use them for different things. check oil points and check tempera paints. I like reading your mistakes out loud.
You're so mean. You'll have to look into that.
If it were anybody else, I would probably change it, but it's her.
Tempera
It's
paints
funny.
are like an eggshell base, I think, usually.
Technically, I could make my own paints, but I'd have to figure out what their shelf life is.
And then the question is, how well do they work on fabric?
I could find a way.
Yeah, see, you just need to spend some time doing that. Because if she does that, then we can make custom things to put on our website.
Technically, I could learn
bags,
embroidery,
and shoes, and hats, and t-shirts. I mean, technically, we could do the kind where you do a picture and it prints it like our books do, which is cool, but not the same thing. It would be a different.
Hand-done bags are way cooler.
Those are not custom. Those are just like a mass-produced.
I guess fine.
It's like doing
There
stickers.
are people who would totally.
Yeah.
Do you know what would be so much fun?
Stickers and mugs.
Backpacks. Those would sell really well.
Yeah, see, look at that. She's got to look at all this stuff.
I'm an ideas person.
That's part of the problem. She's got amazing ideas.
Why is that a problem?
Because amazing ideas get me excited, but they don't all make it into actual items.
We have so many ideas. It's like this huge wide funnel, and only a few actually get done because we have so many to do.
Anyway.
And then every
Lori,
month
were
there's a
you
new
here when I
theme. It
said
doesn't help.
that we have submitted our penguin journal?
Woo, woo.
I should have the proof this week, which means I should be able to show it on next week's live.
That's what I need to do.
You can drop your channel. Thanks, Nightbot.
You're not supposed to be reading.
I can see enough words because we're far away. It's almost far enough away that the words are not too blurry. But if it was actually far enough away that the words wouldn't be too blurry, they'd be too small. Eyesight, man.
Do you remember my doodle shoes?
Yes, I loved your shoes.
I'm supposed to make a book that's my doodle shoes, but as a book. Remember, that was one of our original
That was
ideas.
one of the very first ideas. Yep.
Technically, the animal journal and the hangman journal are two of my doodle designs. Just one of them has a little addition of the patterns inside it to make it more interesting.
I'm still working on those.
I have to figure out where I put my doodle shoes and clean them, and hopefully I can wear them again because I miss wearing them.
Those were so cute.
I don't even know if they fit me right now.
Lori, what's your favorite animal?
What's your favorite animal?
I used to really like teddy bears.
And now?
I still like teddy bears, but I had a reason to stop liking them.
I know.
In fact, I had a teddy bear cake topper for my wedding.
Yeah, I've seen it. Didn't you get rid of it?
Possibly. I'm not sure.
I will probably make my own cake topper at some point in my life.
I think beyond a teddy bear, it's a cat. What does she say?
Yes, you can mess with me. I'm a goofy typer. See, I know I can mess with her. We're friends. I'm also a goofy typer. If I was typing... Oh my gosh, I hate typing on my phone. It's why if I can, I will be on my laptop. It's so much easier to type on my laptop.
waiting to find out what kind of animal she likes. Yours is a narwhal.
I also like turtles.
Turtles.
And frogs.
I don't know the sign for fox. F-O-X.
And frogs.
And frogs.
And owls.
I don't know it, but it's probably something like this. Owls.
There's another one, but why can't I think of it right now?
You like a lepanto.
Yeah, but they don't know what that is. I was my own invention for an assignment in my French class. We were supposed to combine animals and come up with a name for them that's a combination of the French words, and we were supposed to draw it, and everyone in my class was really upset because I did better at the art part. And some of them were like, "Can you draw it for me?" And I was like, "No, that's cheating."
It's a lepanto.
Camille was in my class. She asked me to draw hers.
It was a rabbit with a turtle shell.
And it turned out so
Super
cute. It was one of my first successful animals that I ever drew.
I loved it.
I might even still have it. If I do, I'll have to find it. If not, I have a picture of it, I guarantee it. Which I can also find eventually.
Very cute. Very cute. Yeah. I like teddy bears. I like bear cubs. I like Black Panthers.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I were
Cats.
any kind of cat, it would be that, probably. Because I don't give house cat vibes, I don't think.
I don't know. I've had multiple house cats, and they all have different personalities.
If I were any kind of house cat, what cat would I be?
You know, I actually would be a little bit annoying, like Star.
In what way?
I don't know.
I would be more inclined to cuddle and have you pet me than Star and Hades are.
But Star is more cuddly than Hades.
Because I am constantly wanting people to play with my hair or do the thing on my back, but nobody ever does it.
I had a cat that was like that, very cuddly.
How are your cats doing?
My cat, they're doing pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Hades will make sure we know it's dinner time. But neither of them are overeaters like yours. But he makes sure we know it's dinner time. But he's not super cuddly. He likes to play
When
with
I'm laying down, he'll come
Hunter.
and cuddle with me. But only if I'm laying down.
Yeah, and then
He came and
Star
sat on my
will-
hip while I was laying on the couch, like, on my side.
last night was interesting with Star because we put them in a bathroom downstairs when people come over.
Because those people don't like cats.
And also because people will leave the door open. And I
And
just
also
would rather-
because the cats get overwhelmed if there's one new person.
Yeah, so it's all around best opportunity. So we put the cats away for a couple hours. And then afterwards, they came and they spent time with every single person. Like Star would go, he went and purred on one person, went and purred on another person. Like he visited all the people.
I swear he thought my legs were Hiram's because of the way we were sitting.
It's possible. But he just needed to check in with everybody. He really likes the boys. He'll sit on their laps a lot. What does she say?
Ha ha ha. My kitties are neurotic about food. I don't know if I read that right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she had to get the timer thingy because her cat was overeating. Her little Garfield cat. And then I think it's the other one that steals food from her while she's eating it. But
I'm glad our cats don't do that, but also they know better.
yeah.
Like as kittens, they would come near my food, and I would be like, no. It's just like how Star doesn't dare touch my feet anymore.
That's funny. He'll touch mine.
Literally anything else but my feet.
I don't know why it is. He always pats at feet.
He won't pat at mine anymore.
I don't know why he's obsessed
He knows
with
I'll
feet.
freak out.
Anyway.
I have very sensitive feet, and I don't like when things touch them. I don't like wearing socks, but I don't like my feet being cold either. And also,
this is the
our
worst time
carpet's
of
just
year.
awful.
This is the worst time of year because it's super hot. Well, not super hot, but it's hot. But then you have to have the air conditioning on to make the house bearable because we live in a split entry.
I like to cook a lot.
And then, like, the air conditioning goes along the floor, and so your feet freeze, but the rest of you is not.
It's especially bad in the kitchen.
Yes, it is.
And I like to cook, so my feet are constantly getting cold. And I don't have great circulation right now, so it's definitely not ideal for my feet.
I'm tired.
Did you know that having a cool face and warm feet can help you fall asleep easier? Like making sure that your feet are warm. I started experimenting with that recently, and I actually fall asleep a lot faster.
Here is my problem with that. I have to be so careful because if my feet get too warm, they start itching and then I can't sleep.
I don't really have that problem because my feet are just like
and I actually
cold.
found that for myself, if my body is covered, my feet, as long as my feet aren't freezing, I'm fine. Like I used to sleep with my feet uncovered all the time until I got paranoid about things and then I covered them.
I could never sleep with my feet uncovered because I grew up watching that one movie where the rats ate the bottom of his feet.
I think that's part of when I stopped being like, nope, feet have to be covered.
I grew up watching that. It's a good movie, but it was traumatizing. It's also part of why I'm paranoid about sleeping on the floor. Because he slept on the floor and slept with his feet uncovered, and that is how the rats ate his feet.
Mm-hmm.
How he didn't wake up while it was happening, I will never understand.
I don't know. Do not know. That was an interesting.
I could never be that tired. I would have to be in a coma. And even then, I think I probably would still wake up.
Alrighty. I think we're going to finish up.
Well, we are past the hour-and-a-half mark, so... Pop.
Yeah. Remember, if you're here and you weren't here before, if you type bubble, you get a second entry into our mermaid journal giveaway.
Bubble.
And if you come back and type on the replay, you get an entry into the mermaid giveaway. Bubble. Just type the word bubble and you get to be in the mermaid journal giveaway. Yep. I'm excited about it. We've already talked a little bit about it in the replay, but it closes. I'm going to pick a winner on Thursday morning. So, yep. I think we're done. I'm feeling like I can't be sitting in this chair anymore. I think it's because I recorded my video so late in the day, so I had a stint of sitting here later in the day. And then I had a break for dinner and came back and have been sitting here for...
I sat at the desk, then I sat at the table, then I sat on the couch, now I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of variety.
Normally I'm okay, but normally I record my
Normally
video
I'm not okay.
Normally I record my video like
I'm
1 or 2 in the afternoon, and I recorded it like at 5 p.m. So...
It's both cats, but only Missy tries to steal food.
What did Angela say?
I have enjoyed being in your live. Good night, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.
Elbow. Thanks, guys, for being here. We love you. We'll be back next week. Next week, we should have another journal show you guys. Might be doing a giveaway next week or the week after. I'm not sure which one.
I would think the week after.
Probably. Plus, also, if you don't know, my Creative Expressions 99 is coming out this week, which means 100 should be coming out next week. And I already know what I am doing for a prize on that. So there you go.
My Garfield once ripped open a bag of cat food, and I literally have no idea how much food they ate.
When we buy a new bag of cat food, we have to put it in the closet and close the door because one of our cats will get into it and just Hades will just keep getting into it and eating it and just like, dude. So we have to put that in a thing, and then we have to put it in a special storage unit when we can. We actually use mason jars, but
we love jars in this house.
Yeah, he's quite the little pill. He's also the one that reminds us it's dinner time. You can tell it's getting close to 7 p.m. because he gets fed around 7 to 7:30 p.m. because about 6:30 he comes up like looking for food. Anyway, that's it. We are ending there. Love you guys so much, and like I said, I have a giveaway I'm doing in number 100 of my Creative Expressions, and probably in 2 weeks we'll be doing another journal giveaway for a new one that's coming out. I should get the proof this week. Anyway, bye.
Bye.